Welcome everybody, how's it going? Chris here. Gonna show you of course some comic books, a few that I got in the mail, and we also stopped by the shop the other day and my wife bought me a few comic books. She kind of pushed me to the side and paid for them. And got one that I would have normally not have bought because there was only a couple books this week that I wanted to get were new, and then she got she got some extra ones for me. So anyways, let's start at the top here. I read a few, some I haven't, but the main thing I want to talk about is basically at the bottom of the pile. So let me just show you what I got, and then we'll talk about that last thing. Okay, so Moloch 2 of 2. Good. Finally. Done. Gone. I don't know, these kind of extra Before Watchmen series just kind of popping up, and I'm trying to complete everything of them, so I'm getting all of them. Before Watchmen, issue number 3 of Dr. Manhattan. But I am getting ready for it to finish up, so we can move on to some other stuff, that's for sure. 4 of 4 here, Night Owl. One of my favorite characters. This one was pretty good too. That was pretty awesome. I like that one. Boy oh boy, you guys might be wondering, when am I ever going to start reading this stuff, since I'm only still ever read the first 6 issues, and of course getting this stuff for my wife now. She's all caught up, she just hasn't read this one. I don't know when I'll get it. I really like the TV show, comic book has to be good, but I don't know if I'll ever catch up on that kind of stuff. Here's a title that's just always fun to read, written by Jason Aaron, pencils by Bradshaw. The Strangest Heroes of All, Wolverine and the X-Men, issue 23. Really kind of cool cover there with Frankenstein's monster. Looks like he's just giving Wolverine a beatdown, gonna crush him with a giant boulder. This one's pretty kind of cool storyline. Frankenstein's monster. He's out to end all of the Frankenstein bloodline, and comes to this kid who I think he's part of the Hellfire Club, and thinks he's one of the last Frankensteins, but he may really not be, but he does have a weird connection to the Frankenstein bloodline. So it's just really kind of neat. Frankenstein's monster trying to kill this kid, and with the help of kind of like this gypsy witch there, Frankenstein, tricked all these X-Men, having them brainwashed into this circus, and whatever. So, but now they're breaking out of that spell. So, pretty kind of cool, I think. It's kind of neat. I really don't like the interior art, but Daniel Way, I think, is a pretty good writer. Steve Dillon's art is not really my thing for this comic book, for any comic book that I've seen him draw, but really weird, goofy cover here of the leader that my wife got, that she said, now pick up something else that you wouldn't have normally read. So I told you guys in a previous video that I wouldn't be picking up this book, but because the wife paid for it, and she suggested getting something I wouldn't normally read. Morbius, issue number 1. So spinning right out of Spider-Man 699.1 comes this Morbius, issue number 1. I love the cover though, it's a really, really great cover. I just have never really been that much into Morbius, so it may be a good read, we'll see, but at the moment I don't expect to continue past issue number 1 of this. And also, I forgot, we also got a SpongeBob comic for Logan there, and this is featuring the treasure of Captain Goldfish, a novel-length adventure, issue number 16. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kind of neat. So that's for Logan. He really loves SpongeBob. Venom, issue 29. Yeah. Okay, the last ones that I want to talk to you about here. Of course, the biggest thing that came from the end of December in 2013, issue number 700 of Spider-Man. This is the Oliver Coipel variant that I got. Also got the Avenging Spider-Man 15.1, which I had to pay you know, a bit amount more on mine for that one. So anything involving, you know, Spider-Man 700 or the Avenging Spider-Man 15.1. If you didn't get your copy, you're going to be spending a few bucks more on them for sure. So, but yeah, so let's talk about this book. What should I start with? I thought it was good. Let's say that. Okay, I thought it was good. I have actively not been watching or listening or reading to anybody's reactions really about the Spider-Man 700 until I had read it for myself, and you know what? It was an okay issue. Basically, the death of Spider-Man, I really don't believe that, and if anybody else really believes that, I think they're just a sad, you know, crazy nerd with no future vision of Spider-Man. They don't really see where this is going, or you know, they're so stuck in a rut. They want the same thing over and over and over again. They want Spider-Man to be stale, you know, and nothing to ever happen. But I thought it was great. I enjoyed the artwork too. I like Humberto Ramos's artwork. His two favorite characters that I like him drawing are Spider-Man and Wolverine. When he draws them, they're really awesome, I think. But this story, I think it is great. I mean, it doesn't have such a huge impact because, one, I don't really believe it's really the death of Spider-Man. I mean, he's for sure going to be coming back. The flagship character, basically, of Marvel. I don't think they're ever going to kill off Peter Parker. He's always going to be back. But just how. And I mean, when you read this issue, when you really read it and look at it, I mean, there's ways for him to come back. It's kind of a brain swap. I mean, it's not actually his brain or his soul kind of switching, but it's kind of like a brain rewrite with his machine. And I don't see that lasting for long. I think Peter's memories and himself, they'll eventually take over again. But Peter was able to get some kind of signal with that gold spider bot, a little bit of a signal through, you know, the back of his own head, you know, through Doc Ock's Spider-Man head. So I mean, he's not going to stay dead. So the death at the end, I think, doesn't have that much of a huge impact. It's sad or whatever, he's died, but it doesn't have that big of an impact because you already go into this comic book. You should go into this comic book knowing it's not going to last. But just really interesting. Doc Ock taking over his life, and Peter Parker's first he was going to run away, hop a flight and run away, but you know, Doc Ock in Spider's body. But he eventually comes back, rounds up all his family members, and I think that's, well, either to save him, but I think more of a ransom sort of thing, or a hostage. Because if Spider-Man went there with Hydro Man and Scorpion and tried to fight Spider-Man, you know, some of his loved ones could get killed or hurt really bad. You know, and it was a good battle with them. And I mean, a move from an incredibly desperate villain who has, you know, hours to live, basically had this plan going. And it was just crazy good. It's kind of neat to see that where the villain is going to win, but you know, through that memory thing, that memory connection, you know, Doc Ock kind of sees who Spider-Man is and how he became who he is, and you know, he's got a renewed life, but so he's kind of got the morals of Spider-Man in a sense, but just the I don't know, the arrogance, I don't know, of Doc Ock to go along with it too. So it's going to be interesting, I think, to see how Doc Ock plays Spider-Man, and I think this is only going to go on for so long, and then he's going to come back, and then in my mind, hopefully that this is going to loosen that Mephisto you know, spell that got rid of Peter and Mary's marriage, and maybe something will come back with that. So I see some possibilities and some interesting things to come out of this. Like I say, it was really neat. It was a page turner for me. I kind of knew what was going to happen at the end, but I was kind of, well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I was turning the pages, and I was just kind of really excited and heart beating for this comic book. So I think it was good. I think it was good. Not the best Spider-Man story that's ever been written, really, but it was good. It was decent. Now, for the production value, I think they could have done a little bit more. I would have seen maybe some more interesting variants, or the way they produced the comic book. Maybe they could have done some die cuts, some foils, some stock covers, or something like that. I mean, a landmark issue like this and Death of Spider-Man, they really could have presented it in a few different ways. I think they could have black bagged it and put in some I don't know, some goofy little promotional and trinket things like they did with the Superman 75 when he died. So there's a few things that I think they could have done to, you know, market this or make it more of a historical event. But overall, it's okay. So it's an alright book. Now let's talk about. Let's see. Oh, yeah, one point I wanted to say in this book, man, that just kind of, whoo, just blew me out, man, is when Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, he was fighting the Scorpion, and just out of frame, basically, Spider-Man ends up saying that he took Scorpion's jaw clean off. Whoa. I would have loved to see that panel, but that was really crazy, and I don't think Scorpion may not be dead because I think Peter Parker in Doc Ock's body said if he's dead, you know, blah 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 or something. So it kind of left it open there a little bit. So Scorpion may be back with, you know, a new jaw. But that was pretty powerful, and Doc Ock kind of like, whoa, Spider-Man's been kind of holding back all these years. Just with one punch I was able to take Scorpion's jaw off. Wow. So that was a pretty cool moment too. Okay, so let's quickly talk about this one too. So 700 leads into this one. This one's going to lead into Superior Spider-Man #1, which I'm getting. But just basically kind of goes over how he switched bodies with Peter Parker, and then kind of what he has in store for Superior Spider-Man, new outfit, and how he's kind of going to go about superheroing. So it's a pretty good issue to get as well, to follow up with. And again, if you guys have not gotten it yet, maybe just for on speculation, you might want to get Daredevil 21, which is actually the first appearance of Superior Spider-Man, which predates both of these as well. It's just a couple of panels he's in at the end, but it is the first appearance of Superior Spider-Man. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some nerd rage. I think it's just really crazy. I was trying to watch a few videos of some people talking about it, and it's actually nobody really in when I searched for these Spider-Man reviews, I really never got anybody that was, or rants, I never got anybody that was kind of close in I'd say our community, the 100 people at least that I'm subscribed to, and it was just some crazy nerd rage happening about this issue, and I think it's insane. Those people are making us look bad, I think, as collectors, as comic book readers. They're, you know, like the basement-dwelling nerds that are, you know, just slobby and angry about everything. Like I say, they have their blinders on. They don't see the bigger picture. They don't want to. They want everything to be stale and the same. Everything stays the same. Then you know, the true fans, the audience of that character will kind of get smaller and smaller and smaller as time goes on. If you don't ever change things up, it's never going to be noticed by other people as well too. You're not going to keep it interesting enough to keep fans, some fans either. But just, man, those guys got to give it a rest. Nobody, don't have any nerd rage about this. He's not gonna stay dead. Okay? Like I said, the flagship character of Marvel, they're not going to keep him dead. I mean, they can do whatever they want in the Ultimate Universe. That's its own thing. It's different. It's more acceptable, I think, to have a death in Peter Parker in that one. But man, I saw some videos that were just crazy. And of course, you know, everybody knows about the death threats on Twitter to Dan Slott. Oh man, jeez. Even in the back of the letters page in here, in a way, he's saying, you know, you kind of just read the issue. Don't worry, it's not over yet. You know, there's still more to this story. Basically, Dan Slott was saying. So, just give it a rest. Dan Slott is a big Spider-Man fan too. He's said that lots. And if he's a huge Spider-Man fan, he's not going to keep him dead. But this, I think, is pretty powerful writing. If you can make, you know, the fans, the world of comicdom, I mean, be so split, so extreme, one way or the other, that's some pretty powerful writing, I think. So those nerds just gotta calm down, stop making the rest of the community look bad if you're going on Spider-Man rants. I think it's going to be interesting. This is only one small part of Spider-Man's story. They're just going to kind of delve into this idea of a villain with renewed life kind of taking over the role of Spider-Man. It's going to be interesting, and then things will go back eventually. So don't worry. If you don't like it, don't read it. But also, when he eventually comes back, if you don't read it, then it's going to be even, you know, have that much less of an impact for his return if you're not reading the Superior Spider-Man to see what's actually happening with him, because then you'll just be raging, oh well, now they bring him back because all of us nerds we've been all crazy and we gotta bring back Spider-Man. F you, Dan Slott. You know, it's just insane, the people, you know, the reactions that they've had. So I think it's a good issue. You know, it's a landmark issue too. Peter Parker's going to be back, so don't worry about that. Just settle down, you nerds. You know, nerds that dwell in your mother's basement. Just ease it, okay? And Phil, stop sending Dan Slott threats on Twitter, okay? Alright, so that's about all I got. I don't know, it's just kind of really hard to get my opinion out, you know, how stupid the nerd rage is. But yeah, I think everybody kind of, mostly in the community that I'm involved in, I think should understand. But like I say, I had actively really stayed away from anybody who was talking about Spider-Man 700. I was kind of skipping over those parts of your videos, or just missing them if you had them titled about it. So now I would like to know, though, if you did do any videos after you read this and you have an opinion about Spider-Man, please send me your videos. Just PM me and send the link with that video as well too. I would really like just to listen about some of the varied opinions in our community about Spider-Man 700, and of course I expect no crazy nerd rage videos, but I know, you know, there's definitely some split opinions about this, either about the writing or about the artwork, but overall, it's okay. It's Spider-Man. I really haven't missed an issue since 539, since the Back in Black thing began, and I'm not going to stop collecting Spider-Man. It's going to be interesting, I think. So, and I think everybody else should. If you were collecting Spider-Man and you decided I'm not going to get Superior just because it's Doc Ock, No, this is still part of Peter Parker's story. Even though it's Doc Ock in his body with this little brain swap, it's still part of the grander story of Peter Parker and Spider-Man. So I think you should still pick it up. Alright, okay, so that's that, you guys. I'm going to get out of here, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.